Ken, I love your progressions and the way you follow this through, Chris. But can I just go back one step and say what a progression should be, and then I'll get to endurance?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah. First and foremost, remove the cause. So here's the failure of a lot of trainers and physical therapists and docs. A person comes in with back pain and they'll tell them, oh, here, do these exercises. Mm-hmm. And I'll say, wait a second, they've got back pain. Mm-hmm. Everything you give them is going to hurt them. First and foremost, remove the cause. So there are some people that come in and I say, hey, I'm not going to give you any exercises. Here's what you have to do to remove the cause. It might be a lifestyle change. It might be the way that they're doing something. It might be their posture or whatever. Mm-hmm. So that's absolutely critical. Then we work with corrective and therapeutic exercises carefully selected to groove in a movement pattern that doesn't provoke pain and spares the tissues that are yelping a little bit. Right. Then we, of course, build stability where it's needed, build mobility where it's needed, and then we build endurance, not strength. Mm-hmm. Strength comes later. And there's a great confusion, I think, in many people as to I'm going strength training. Well, not in my view. If they're lifting a few weights and whatnot, that might be strength training. It might be endurance training. It's all a matter of the programming. But real strength training is maximal stimulation of all the motor units in a muscle. I mean, it's pretty brutal, real strength training. Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about here. Mm-hmm. So we have to... But people get hurt when they break form. So you can imagine if a person could do 3 perfect lifts, mm-hmm. their chance of becoming injured would be quite slim. But if they broke form on the 4th lift, you can see how that's the one that they get hurt with. And you can follow people's injury history. They get hurt when they break form. So my point is, endurance has to be matched to their strength. So that they don't break form. So if you just make someone stronger mm-hmm. and they're not endurable, they'll use all that wonderful newfound strength to break themselves and hurt themselves even more. Sure. Because they didn't have the endurance and the discipline to keep form. So that's the trick of endurance.
Yeah.
Build a foundation of sufficient discipline mm-hmm. endurance so that they don't break form. Now that's endurance is very different mm-hmm. Depending on the person, their history, and what their goals are. But generally speaking, if we're just talking general programming now, we'll use what we call the Russian descending pyramid for building endurance, which is quite counter to the bodybuilding physiological type of endurance, mm-hmm. Which is, say people are doing 10 repetitions, they want to make it an endurance exercise, so they do 2 more, squeeze out 2 more. So get nice and tired and squeeze out 2 more and go to failure. That's endurance training. Yeah. Well, in fact, it isn't. By mm-hmm. going to failure, you just ruined your athleticism. You just taught your body to get very fatigued, now practice a fatigued pattern. In contrast to that, the Russians and Eastern Europeans are a lot more clever, I think, in building endurance. The descending pyramid is this. They will do a few repetitions, but not to the point where they get fatigued and they break form. Mm-hmm. So say, pick an exercise. Let's just do a floor exercise like a bird dog. Do you know what I mean, or a quadruped?
Quadruped, yeah.
Yeah, so do a 10-second contraction with a bird dog, sweep the floor, do 5 of those on one side, do 5 on the other, then rest. Mm-hmm. Now the next set is a descending set, so now you only do 4 bird dogs on the right, 4 on the left, and then rest, and then 3 and 3. So this way of building endurance for a back pain patient, they're only doing 10-second holds, so they're guaranteeing that they're not going to go into a muscular cramp or pain. Mm-hmm. And the descending pyramid, as they build fatigue, and they don't break form. So do you see, it's kind of a clever way of building endurance, never breaking the patient into pain and bad form. So anyway, there's the start of it, but of course they're not going to the Olympics based on the descending pyramid. But mm-hmm. that is your foundation base, and then you program the much longer durations, and you can start moving into the physiological aspects of fatigue.
Yeah, because I think that's what I find from a lot of people is they they go straight into that sort of strength. Well, sort of the common held notion of what strength training is, that 3-4 sets of 12, 10, or whatever it might be, feel that burn and then move on. They don't build that foundation which will make them so much stronger when they do jump up into that sort of level of training.